Hey, what's up, party people? Welcome to the Honest Trailer commentary for American Sniper. We're gonna watch the Honest Trailer for.
We're referencing the Lenny Kravitz version, not the Guess Who version from the 70s.
Yeah, thank you for clarifying. Yeah. There was one boomer who was very confused. We're talking about American Sniper, the film, and the Honest Trailer. We also have some deleted scenes that we'll show you. Some Q&A, so put any questions or comments of a respectful nature in the chat, and then we will tease you with what next week's Honest Trailer is going to be. Let's dive right in. Or actually, let's wait for the perfect shot to appear, and then we'll take our...
Listen, slow your heart rate. Slow your heart rate. Deep breaths.
So yeah, this is a huge movie. I believe the highest grossing film of 2014, or close to it.
Somehow.
And one that I had never seen before.
Really?
Yeah.
First time.
So I was very excited to go back into this and then see one of my favorite working directors,
Mr.
Mr. Eastwood.
One of your favorite working for no more than 4 hours a day.
You know, I respect that. You clock in, you clock out. It's like he has a good work-life balance.
I like that there are our two oldest old man directors, Clint Eastwood and Ridley Scott. Ridley Scott is like, I'm out there 18 hours a day, 18 cameras going. We're filming Napoleon, every military campaign. And then Clint is like, I bet we can wrap this by 1:30. Yeah. What do you guys think?
I'm not waiting for a baby. Get a doll.
What if we do a 30-minute lunch instead of an hour, and then everybody takes off by 2:15?
I love it. I love the clip we found for the end of this Honest Trailer of Spielberg talking about, like, because you know the cue was like, what do you love about Clint Eastwood as a director? And he's like, he's always under budget, and he finishes early.
Gets you home on time.
Everyone's happy. But the people love the films. I mean, I certainly like Cry Macho. And
I would like to say for the record, I think Clint Eastwood has directed several all-time, like, great movies.
What's it? Richard Jewell is great.
Richard Jewell, I really like. Unforgiven. I mean, obviously.
Come on.
Unforgiven. Come on. But I mean, like, there are a lot of good Clint Eastwood movies. He's a good director. As he's aged, he's taking some shortcuts now, and I think it's funny. But I don't mean to imply we don't think Clint Eastwood is a good director. I didn't like Sully either, but most of them are good.
Yeah. And this one is, I would say, in the middle there because it's he's got some workman-like compelling action sequences. He's trying, I think, to do like the war coming home and the psyche in the home front. But I think he is doing such a straightforward adaptation of a very straightforward biography of, like, I'm going to go in rough chronological order through a very eventful already compacted life and just, like, show you these snapshots of it. And it adds up into filmmaking that's just like, and then this happened, we were talking, and then this happened, and this happened, and it doesn't take time to cohere into, like, a why we're seeing these certain moments and not others, or have any real central theme or statement emerge beyond, like, this is what happened in this guy's life. Oh, credits. Oh, there, it's over.
Yeah. I mean, it's not the fault of the direction, and I think, Bradley Cooper is pretty good. It's not really a fleshed out kind of character, but, like, he's believable as this guy who's not really like what Bradley Cooper is like. But yeah, I think the problem here is the material is just all over the place. Like, I don't think that this is a really, like, a coherent story about, like, here's what we want to tell you about Chris Kyle. It kind of feels like, scenes from the life of Chris Kyle, and then it's kind of up to you to put together why you're seeing what you're seeing. And a lot
of Bohemian Rhapsody in a lot of ways.
Well, because it has that biopic thing of, like, if this person wasn't famous and didn't have, like, a notable name, this story would never have made it into a movie.
Right.
It's just, like, incoherent.
Wait, what is this about? Like, who is this guy? I still don't fully understand, but
and the things that they do to try to make it feel more narrative are so kind of clunky and transparent, much like Bohemian Rhapsody. Like, they try to give it, like, they give him a nemesis, so we've got a little bit of a dramatic sort of thing, but it's lame, and that the war really wasn't like that, because no war is really like
when
that.
I found out that Mustafa in the film, his nemesis, his arch rival, didn't exist, but that in the book, I read the paragraph of the 500-page book that's about Mustafa, and even, first of all, not Mustafa is not his name. And he's like, there was a sniper also working in Iraq at the same time. I heard he was from the Olympics. He was really good. I don't know if we ever got him. Anyways, back to the story. The fact that is about half of this film, and like his what's motivating him through each of his four tours.
And I think that's the thing. Is like, look, taking that paragraph and fleshing it out and giving him like a more like a rival that we can sort of personify. Like, I get that. I get why you would do that narratively, but like, calling him Mustafa and then filming him in shadow, making him such a stock movie villain.
They give him like the commando gearing up montage with the Arabic singing in the background,
and it's just like, don't do that. Like, make it feel more real. If you're gonna add things, make it feel lived in and less
find
like a
other
movie.
Real soldier stories and work those into it.
And
as
I mean,
well.
even calling him Mustafa, it's like, Muhammad Jihad was taken as a name. Mustafa, like, it's just so silly. Like, come on. Treat us like we're smart.
Well, he had to get home for Matlock, so just fine. Call him Mustafa or something. We'll fix it. Whatever. Let's get into the honest trailer for American Sniper.
Get away from me. Get out of Ramadi.
From legendary actor Clint Eastwood, who reinvented himself as a director, debater.
What do you mean, shut up?
Oh, boy. You kids might be too young for that
horn
one.
dog.
I'm up for anything, corazón.
Hello, mommy.
Pause. Kevin's first cut did not have his reaction in it, and I said, no. You need to go one shot longer to hear what I believe is clinically a death rattle, but he's stopping it because the blood has all rushed to his pelvis region. He's not dead yet, but his brain thinks he is.
Oh, Christ.
Because he has an erection. So he goes, he turns her down, though, because A, it's not the honorable thing to do in the movie in that moment, and B, he would die.
He would. I think would physically kill. I think that might be that character's plan. Is like, I want to throw this guy off the search for my estranged son. I'll just have sex with him, and he will have a massive coronary.
His pelvis will turn to dust. He won't be able to walk. It happens. It happens to, if we're lucky enough.
I believe it's been a little while. I first watched Cry Macho when they first put it up on HBO Max. He is seduced by two different women in that movie.
He's seduced by Marta as well.
Right.
But it's not as overt. It's like a good Christian seduction. Like she does it, in a more honorable way.
Right. Yeah, they really care about each other. Yeah. It's not just it's not just a 90-year-old man having
Granted,
a fling.
she does not speak a word of English, the woman he ends up with. So it's all through like it's very awkward. The son is like, I think my mom likes you. She's like, I think I like your mom. So he kind of has to play like Romeo.
Also, this chicken and I have a sort of an unspoken.
I'm picking up a vibe.
That's amazing. Cry Macho is amazing.
Me gusta, mom.
Your
mom.
I love that Cry Macho is based on a book, and the character he's playing is like 50. And they didn't change anything for the movie, so it's still like, you're too old to get out there and ride, and it's like, he's
not a debate.
Literally using a walker to come into your office, Dwight Yoakam. You don't have to tell him.
God
that.
bless him. It's
amazing.
Did you see that? I think it was on Ellen or something, or no, Bradley Cooper was on Ellen because I was watching random Bradley Cooper things for this, and he was talking about how Clint has an office on the lot. I forget which lot, but he
Warner's, I would imagine.
Warner's. He feeds a pack of squirrels every day.
Sure.
So you'll see him surround a 90-year-old man surrounded by squirrels. He's like, "Here you go, you little guys."
Like, he's making our next tent pole. Look at that.
Yeah, it's just a nice
Future
image.
of the studio, right there.
Okay, keep going.
Comes a granddad movie about the things seniors love to hate. Other cultures,
Look, I don't know what a crime looks like.
loud neighbors,
That's a book.
and whatever's playing on cable news. You see Hannity last night? The kids identify as kitty cats now, crapping themselves in a litter box. I swear, this country's going down the drain. American Sniper.
Kind of
Welcome to a film set in the Middle East. So cue up that call to prayer.
3 seconds in.
First thing, gotta get that chanting in there. So how else would we know it's set in the Middle East?
There's certain things you have to do when you
Movie, as we return to America's Naughty Audie's War on Terror, where 15 Saudis trained in Afghanistan did 9/11. So we blew up, let me check my map here, Iraq, in a
So
film
pause.
that tries to...
Not to get too political, but
No,
I did
we're
find
gonna.
it.
That's why you're here.
Yeah,
we're gonna get very.
I found it very, unfortunately jarring, but also did remind me of the era that they do a smash cut from 9/11 to Iraq.
Yeah.
And it's like, there were the war, the WMDs and the Saddam, and he's like, there was a lot of run up to that. The idea that he joined or became a SEAL because of 9/11, and then they skipped those intervening 3 years or 4 years till he was deployed.
I mean, he parrots a lot of the rhetoric from that era that we've sort of all gotten away from now, and I think a lot of people forget that this was even the official line. Like, there is one point where he's explaining to his wife that, like, we have to go fight them over there. You want them in the Piggly Wiggly down the street, and it's like that was how the war was sold to Americans.
Well, the war was sold to America about we got to get Saddam because he has weapons of mass destruction. Right. But he's fighting, and the way they keep talking about it is Al Qaeda in Iraq, Al Qaeda in Iraq. That was not the initial way it was sold to us. It was about Saddam Hussein and the mobile weapons labs and Colin Powell holding up the anthrax vial.
Right, and Hans Blix and then the UN guys had to go inspect. But it was also that general, like, we have to go fight them over there so we don't have to, or else more 9/11s are going to constantly be happening. And,
so
like,
they did
that's just, like, assumed in this movie to be true.
They skipped that part.
Yeah, we're just going with that.
As we say, not that we know more, but Wikipedia, we lived through it.
We know.
We know more than the...
than Chris Kyle knew when he was in country.
We know more than Chris Kyle knew when he was in country?
About how the Bush administration lied us into the war.
Yeah.
Not about the situation on the ground, obviously.
Right.
He was there, but I mean about...
I found that it was a glaring omission that they never talked... They never differentiated between 9/11, Afghanistan, and Iraq.
Right, because at this period in history, we, as a country, had not yet.
Yeah.
We've sort of untangled that now.
Yeah. Crazy times to be alive, man. Not that was what the beginning and end of my political engagement and activism was taking part in the world's largest anti-war rally of all time, and it being like a fart in the wind.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, it doesn't matter. Okay, cool.
They weren't listening to us.
No
then or now.
Yeah. All right, keep going.
Focus on the mental tolls of war, but since all he brought was a gun, everything turns into a target. Watch Bradley Cooper go full wet sausage mode to play real-life Texan Chris Kyle, a Navy SEAL who lived by the code of Team America, World Police.
There are 3 types of people in this world.
Dicks,
Sheep, wolves, and sheepdogs.
But since Brad's a stockbroker's son from the Philly suburbs, he'll crank the yeehaw up past hog heaven with a big old belt buckle, longhorn cap, and traditional Texas mating call.
Hands in the air, little lady.
In the role that convinced B-Coops he can only make Oscar bait from now on, or voice a raccoon for lots of money.
Oh, yeah.
And even that's got a little baity these days. Come on, Brad. You can still make comedies. Adam Scott doesn't have to take all your old characters.
You look amazing. Even better than before.
Are you ready to condense a 500-page biography into 2 disorienting hours? Hope so, with a few short minutes spent on meeting, courting, and marrying his wife, his PTSD getting cured off camera.
There's things that it's hard to show what they don't show in a movie.
Yeah.
But there's lots of moments like in that the wedding scene where they're like, she's like, you have green paint on your face, and he's like, yeah, don't worry about it. That's so clearly like they had a bachelor party scene where he painted his face green or something like that. There's a lot of moments like that. I have in my notes somewhere where just really glaring. Oh, where the guy has the red elbow, and he's noticing like, oh, a red elbow, that means something. Where they were clearly setting these things up.
Sniper, right?
Yeah, but you'd think that they would have some sort of scene earlier being like, oh, I've got my elbow hurts from sniping so long.
And then it doesn't really even pay off. Like he gets the clue to go search around the guy. Like it never connects.
So they're just the seams are showing from when they cut a lot of stuff out of this.
Yeah, I mean, it just also, like, I don't, it's using a lot of this, like, weird shorthand where it's just, like, an idea is introduced and then later it's brought up again, and it's like, well, that's not, it's missing the middle part where you actually tell the story. Like, the PTSD thing is the perfect example, where there's several scenes setting up how a show or a movie would set up this character is going to be diagnosed with PTSD. Like a loud sound goes off and they react nervously. Or
and then there'd be an entire movie about him coming
the
out
process,
of that.
right? And this we don't. There's one scene where he's with a therapist, and the therapist is like, you should try helping other people. That might reconnect you. And then he's literally cured.
I assume he met some, wily veteran or had some heartfelt connection with somebody that had him come out of his shell and readjust reality. But
it's a true story, so there things happen.
I'm sure it happened.
But like we
just
don't
have to imagine that part.
We don't get that, and that's what's satisfying about being told a story. Like they have a scene later where Sienna Miller goes, "I'm so proud of you, baby, for curing your PTSD," and it's like, well, that's not satisfying because we didn't follow that journey. We're just hearing about it afterward.
Like, oh, that's lunch. Yeah, it's fine. All right, keep going.
I'm so happy that I've got my husband back.
Then abruptly dying off screen. Because they gotta make room for what the audience paid to see. The USA kicking ass. And Bradley Cooper playing with his knob.
Enemy sniper located. Proximate grid. Back, Romeo.
Oh, yeah. Oh, gently. Real sensitive now. Ooh, yeah. Now I'm ready to shoot. Oh. Was that a crude dick joke? Sorry, I just watched American Sniper.
Oh, we're just picking our dicks here, man.
Ladies and genitals, listen up. One blow from a single man. He blew 100 men. And he's single.
Well, you know that's a way to my heart.
Squirrel, where the are your nuts?
Oh, they're going for good, sir.
Are you tired of American exceptionalism?
Because it's the greatest country on earth, and I do everything I can to protect it.
Then get ready for Chris Kyle exceptionalism.
Your dad, he's a hero.
That takes his already wild true story and tacks on a few Call of Duty levels for good measure. Where he doesn't miss a single shot.
The reason we showed the finale there, which is, I'm sure there are many similar firefights, but he doesn't talk about that at all, where this whole setup to kill Mustafa to protect the guy who's building the thing, and he's turned the wrong way, and then it tips off they really kind of clown him, the real person, at the ending of this, to make him risk the life of every other soldier with him to shoot, a flapping scarf in the wind without any identification of who or what it is. He's just like, I know, I gotta take the shot.
It's just weird because he was all like, you don't have to Frank Dukes him, like you gotta Frank Dukes because it's all made up. Like there was no Kumite, so it's all you gotta fictionalize it because he was just a liar. But like Chris Kyle was not a fabulous.
How dare you?
This happened. This is a true story about a guy who had a very impressive run of kills as a sniper in Iraq. You don't need to trump it up. Like I feel like show us the real stuff that happened. If nothing else, I get that you got to do some stuff for dramatic effect or whatever. But the sniping should be the one thing you keep relatively realistic. That's what's interesting.
Yeah, and then just the idea that he would kind of tip off and like be that irresponsible seemed like to
fictionalize that part. It's like, wait, isn't this a movie about how he was a good soldier?
Right.
Yeah.
So
it's confused.
Did him dirty. All right.
But they're trying to make it show just how impressive he was. Like he was such an amazing sharpshooter that even taking this huge risk and tipping off his team, he still survived.
Everybody survived.
He still saved all of those guys because he was just that good at shooting.
Yeah. Keep going.
Just that good.
The man who was just
in
that
combat.
good at shooting.
Or Chow.
And so, damn it.
Food fight?
Teaches Marines how to do their jobs.
So what's that mean, bro?
And is 100% convinced America can't win without him.
Let somebody else go.
Yeah.
You're welcome to live in my
Yeah, well, you find a way.
But in this film, he's right. And we wouldn't want sooner if his dang wife wasn't on his ass back at home. How much help do you need with a plastic baby anyway? Just give it plastic milk.
We got to talk about the baby briefly. I just love the thumb. I
love
love
Cooper's
the thumb.
using it. What a pro. That's professional.
Is it a pro, or is it like, why did they use the shot where he's clearly jiggling the arm with the thumb? I feel like it would have read more realistic if he wasn't clearly moving its arm up and down.
I mean, that's just dedicate. He's committed 100%. If the baby's not going to move, he's going to move it. That's how invested Bradley Cooper is.
There had to have been, if that's the one that made it into the film, God, do I want to see the
if
other
his
ones.
nose isn't big enough to play the Jewish guy, he's gonna put a fake one on. That's just
the
the,
B. Coop promise.
the Bradley Cooper commitment to the bit.
Yeah. So yeah, I really want to see the deleted scenes. Maybe there's a featurette on the American
I'd
Sniper
like to see a
Blu-ray.
whole like a
Behind the
lavishly
baby.
produced behind the scenes featurette about the baby.
Yeah.
The making of the Cabbage Patch Kid.
I mean, if it was a Marvel movie, it would just be a floating baby's head somewhere.
Right, it would be like a stick with a tennis ball on top that they're gonna come in later. And...
Yeah, make it into.
Because what if it needs to be a demon baby? Because it's Mephisto's baby, and Feige decides at the last second.
We lost Batista. It can't be Baby Drax anymore. It has to
now
be
it has to
Baby
be-
Nebula.
Yeah.
Okay, keep going.
Look, we got off the phone with Funko.
Meet the only enemy brave enough to cross barrels with Chris, Mustafa. An enemy sniper who gets one mention in the book, but the movie turns into his arch nemesis.
You!
Complete with his own intelligence network,
Mustafa's got his papers out.
signature Nikes, and trick shot video side hustle.
That's a sniper recording his kills. That's Mustafa. He sells that shit on the street.
As the film gets hyper-focused on their made-up rivalry,
They're gonna pay for what they did to you.
even if it means turning Chris into someone who risked his squad's life on a hunch.
Hold your fire. You'll expose us all.
It's him. Oh, it's him.
But whatever, now that the only guy in Iraq who can shoot is dead, the war's over, I guess. I don't know. Wikipedia it.
Mission accomplished.
So join
did it,
America's
everybody.
least detail-oriented filmmaker, who's definitely not just trying to crank out films in time to make it home for Blue Bloods.
Clint Eastwood's films have very happy companies, and he comes in under schedule and he comes in under budget every single time.
For a film about one man's quest to keep his brother safe and liberate the good people of Iraq from their evil oppressors. Not this guy, though. Or her. Or him. Definitely not him. Oh, he seems nice. Wait, no, not him either. Not her. Not him. Not that kid. Not them. All right, I guess every single Iraqi in the film is evil, huh? Light 'em up, boys.
Get some.
Yeah, I mean,
Starring.
pause. I think that with enough time, I don't think Clint Eastwood will be around to do it, but the Flags of Our Fathers, Battle of Iwo Jima, what was it?
Yeah, that you got it.
Okay,
letters
from
from
Iwo
Iwo
Jima.
Jima.
Yeah. That would be interesting to see Clint come back, 10 years later. However, how long ago was Iraq? How long ago was anything?
I mean, this movie is 10 years old. Iraq was significantly longer.
Iraq was
Well,
the
the Iraq
country.
War.
Yeah,
The
I
Iraq-
don't even know when
It was
if it's not still going.
03 through 2010, I want to say.
Yeah. So yeah, that's
2011.
I think that I would be very curious to see Clint Eastwood's take on the Iraqi perspective of of this period of time.
They do a thing that I think is a real cheat, where early on when he arrives, Chris Kyle arrives, there's like, well, the town has been cleared. They've already evacuated. So anyone you see in the city is an enemy combatant. It's like, it's an oversimplification, but okay. Like that's how they excuse just open fire on anyone you see running through the street, and it's morally
Right, they have the thing.
okay.
Any military-aged male is here to kill you.
Exactly.
Got
Yeah.
it.
So that's he can just
Green light.
He can just lay waste to people on the street at will because they're supposed to be gone already.
They should have just gone to their second home, or perhaps a camp. Yeah.
I'm not going to bring up the thing we said we were going to.
Oh yeah. Right. All right, keep going.
Thank goodness that was the last
Super
minute.
Cooper.
Sniper, no sniping!
Terrorists win.
Drill, baby, drill. An actual SEAL they made into a coward for no reason.
Yeah, wow.
Hoorah!
It's tough for that guy.
This place.
Hoorah! Mind Haunter. And Doll of Duty. Vet Hot American Camper. Wow, I can't believe they're just throwing the Punisher in this. If you haven't watched the Netflix shows, how are you supposed to even know what's happening? Hey, Screen Junkies,
Oh,
we
don't
just
need
saw that Chris
but
don't
you should
miss.
watch this other video we made. We found out what the best movie sniper is. I know my personal favorite is Bobby Lee Swagger from the film Shooter.
Sure.
Swagger.
Swagger.
Bobby Lee Swagger. Best
name.
name. Best sniper. So check that out to see who actually wins.
Yeah, we got a
in a
very
variety of
recent
categories.
new entry. You probably didn't get to it in time, but David Fincher's The Killer also features a great
Oh.
sniping sequence.
Well, we say that a sequence doesn't count. It has to be a sniper by profession or.
I mean, he's an assassin, so
Yeah.
he uses different methodologies depending on the scenario, but sniping is in his arsenal.
It's in his blood. Got it. Well, check that out.
And there's a lot of I think it would count as a sniper movie. There's a lot of detail about sniping.
All right. Well, I'm very excited to watch that.
It's great.
Probably
I
tonight.
liked it. I liked it a lot.
All right. So let's get into the live chat. Or the outtakes. How about the outtakes?
Oh, yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
Starring. Support the Coops. Cooper Trooper. We're the Millers. Don't even Homefront. Seal the Deal.
Mustafa. So, Chris Kyle, at last we meet. For the first time, for the last time.
I must stop you from a distance. Jeff, who belongs at home. Land of Brother. And a toy soldier. Clap for the SEAL. SEAL Team Flicks. American Camper. In the Navy. Top Gun.
He is the Top Gun.
Top Gun. All right. So, on to the questiones. Adam Hulbert asks, where does this rank among cinema's most unconvincing fake babies? Does the Flash hospital scene currently top it? Those are more like disturbing, uncanny valley babies. This one is like, that's not a baby.
Yeah, I mean, it's also, I think they're purposefully making I don't think that Flash scene is good, but they're purposefully making those babies look fake so it's not disturbing.
Yeah.
And in American Sniper, the baby is very much supposed to look real. So I think that is the dividing line. Is like, I think you can excuse Flash more because, like, well, you wouldn't want to see a very realistic baby getting put into a microwave, lest it splat against
even
an
unconvincing fake baby. But...
It's a little disturbing anyway, even with very obviously computer-generated babies.
When I saw those fake babies falling out of the sky, I actually got briefly excited because I thought, oh, this movie's going to be similarly insane.
Right.
But it was just insane in a less interesting way.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that opening like 15, 20 minutes where it's like this weirdo Gonzo Snyderverse reality, and then it just abandons that entirely. I thought that was the best stuff in that whole movie, really. I will note a quick teaser for next week. I won't give it away. The guy who plays Jeff Kyle, Chris's brother in this, only really had two big movie roles, and next week we're doing his other big movie. Isn't that weird?
That's how we plan out the schedule.
How did that not? We did not do that on purpose. It's totally random. But it's Kevin, our editor, our whiz editor, noticed that this week, and it's crazy. It's really weird. Yeah. Anyway.
All right, MJ Pretzer writes, what other movies or shows would you put a bad fake baby in? I say Full House to ramp up the insane. A fake baby wouldn't be out of place in Full House.
Yeah,
honestly, a baby was unavailable that
Didn't
day.
they do that? Well, I think, didn't Jesse and Lori Loughlin have a baby and they used it pretty obviously? I think there was a fake baby.
That was just for their USC application. They put a rowing crew.
How dare you insult Ms. Lori Loughlin?
Yeah, fake baby. Who am I putting a fake baby in? What movie am I... What movie's adding?
I mean, I feel like we got to do this at some point with the Godzilla Kong franchise. They're gonna have fake babies.
No, Godzilla about to step on a fake
baby. Yeah,
it
seems. Or Godzilla himself having a fake baby.
That's good.
Itself. I don't think we have a sex on Godzilla. Godzilla's themselves.
Godzilla themselves.
Yeah, I think the Godzilla's a they them.
Yeah. Yeah. Tell us in the comments below.
Wow. You didn't want to step on one third rail, and we leapt into another one.
Let's see. So, yeah, I don't know. Whiplash, throw a baby in there. All right, Benjamin.
I just like J.K. Simmons just has a baby the whole time.
No, just yelling at just raising a baby. Just like, come on. Like,
not my tempo.
Yeah. Benjamin Abramowitz, can you believe this was the highest domestic earning film of 2014? What other films shocked you with how much money they made? I just learned Roland Emmerich's 2012 made $750 million in 2009.
I mean, that's not that surprising. People love those big disaster.
But I thought that like they ran out of steam by 2012.
Well, I mean,
ironically 2012 came out in 2009.
Yeah.
So,
but that was them running out of steam.
Yeah,
that was like lower. Day After Tomorrow was a monster hit.
So yeah, things that you didn't realize were as big as they were. That's up there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think. I think this year I mean, you know, Barbie is surprising. I figured Barbie would do well. They were out there hyping it a ton. Like, people love those actors, but I did not see Barbie crossing the $1 billion mark. It went, and Oppenheimer too. Actually, both of them I didn't think were movies that I would see doing that well.
Yeah,
so I think those are the big surprises this year.
I mean, maybe I just have B. Coops on the brain, but like the Hangover sequels. Because, like, when do comedy sequels ever do well? And these turned into, I don't know if they're billion-dollar movies, but they were gigantic films, and they were bad. And I wouldn't think that they would, that comedy sequels would ever play internationally, but they're not that funny, so I guess they turned into more like action capers.
Yeah, I think that's part of it, is that, right, the Hangover movies had this, like, formula that got people interested, even if you weren't catching all the.
Yeah.
I mean, it was also it's such a broad comedy that I think you can
draft being
you
beheaded.
You can, even if you're not
that
following,
plays everywhere.
Yeah, even if you're not following the wordplay, you get what's funny about the Hangover movie.
One with this, James Bunt writes, what fourth or fifth banana, I guess from a TV show or film, are you always surprised as the breakout star from a TV show? For a TV show, Cooper will always be Will from Alias to me.
Oh, I see what. I mean, the one that's really funny. There was just a tweet about this, but like when Girls was brand new, imagine being like the one breakout, the one person who's going to become a huge star is Adam Driver. Everybody else, not really.
Yeah, he's the movie star.
Yeah,
that's
Allison Williams. Like, you know, she was in Megan. She's in Get Out. Like she works, but not a star on the Adam Driver level.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that it's less this, but more like just separated by eras when you look at like 80s Robert Downey Jr. and you're like, oh, he'll actually be the biggest star of the 2010s.
Yeah, I think, you know what's interesting too is Game of Thrones, where I feel like a lot of the most prominent people from Game of Thrones have sort of struggled. Like Emilia Clarke's been in big stuff, but doesn't have like a signature post-Daenerys
she got
role.
like 4 or 5 swings at different franchises.
Yeah, and like Lena Headey's in like an MGM Plus sci-fi show now, and like
Nikolai Coster-Waldau only stars in like Romanian stuff.
Right, and Kit Harington did Eternals, but the second tier people are in like a ton of great stuff now. Like,
well, who's
Liam
like
Cunningham is in a bunch of good stuff, and the guy who played Roose Bolton pops up and stuff all the time, and like
Charles Dance always working.
Yeah, and the Ramsay Bolton, even that guy like pops up and stuff all the time. And yeah, Charles Dance. Like I feel like it's interesting how that sort of worked out.
Sophie Turner, more of a TMZ star, but she's around.
Right, but that's kind of what I mean. Like it not necessarily all the people you'd expect to be the breakouts from Game of Thrones, but a lot. Like Gwendolyn Christie is a big breakout from Game of Thrones.
Huh. Fascinating stuff.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. We'll be back. You already got your clue. I mean, it gives it away if you actually look it up.
Yeah, if you IMDb the guy who plays Jeff Kyle, you will figure out next week's movie because
for Black Friday.
It's really the only other big prominent role he did.
But otherwise, enjoy your holiday shopping season.
There you go.
Your
Busiest shopping day of the year, folks.
Buckle up. That's your clue. We'll see you next week right here on I'll Show the Commentaries. Bye-bye.